Yes. Royal Jamaican product of Jamaica alcoholic ginger beer made with real ginger and made by Jamaicans.
For Jamaicans.
For Jamaicans.
In Jamaicans.
Damn, it's delicious.
I hope so. Why is this paper on it?
They did good.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, God. That's horrible. What's this one like? Better. I can tolerate that. Okay.
It's brewed and bottled by RJ Rums and Spirits Ltd.
Brewed and bottled
in Kingston, Jamaica.
I know I've talked about this before. Or maybe I haven't talked about this on the show, but I've talked about it with you. Is that like I will regularly go out and buy just a great many beers, and just I hate them. I hate them all, and like I want to drink them so badly, but they all taste like garbage. And like
that doesn't taste like beer; it just tastes like a ginger beer.
Yeah, no, ginger beer is one of my favorite beverages. I really like Reed's, the extra spicy ginger beer, is so good.
Yeah, that's spicy; it's good.
But alcoholic ginger beers are hit and miss, and that one, it's okay. The Krabbies that you drank last time is better, but like even it's just alcohol just tastes like big old poops. Tastes like big old poops.
I know I've consumed more alcohol than you in our lifetime, but neither one of us have been very big drinkers.
No, I've drank more. I think I've drank more on this podcast than I drank like in the whole year before the podcast. Because like I'm really stressed and like I reach for this assuming that it's going to be pleasant, but it ends up just being like
no, none of the
it tastes good. Sometimes.
None of the substances that people use are actually pleasant. That's the trick of it all.
Yeah. No, I don't drink very often.
It really is a numbing agent.
But like every now and then, whenever we're podcasting, especially, it's fun to do it. You know what I mean?
I won't do this for the whole fucking 54 to 1.5 hours. But I do want everyone to know that, like, infinity cubes are fucking legit.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one of these before? I mean, I know the design is not, like...
I'm seeing one now, and it's...
super fucking... Imagine you're trying to teach somebody something, and they're just, like...
playing with that thing?
Doing this. That being said, if I had one of these when I was in school, maybe I wouldn't have thrown that desk at that kid.
But it had something else to do with your fingers.
Think about that.
Yeah.
He kept fucking with me. I'm sure nobody would have fucked with me for having a fucking cube. All right.
That is a thing. Like people talk about like those 8. We should.
And I'm Ben.
I'm Forrest, and this is the show. Is it?
It's been going for like.
Yeah, but is it pointed weird?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I meant to tell you about it, and I forgot.
Now here we are, and we've already started, and
No, adjusting the camera is how we start the show, and you'll see later when you're going through the footage and trying to find some semblance of a podcast in this mess of fucking nonsense we've created.
We've already been recording for like fucking 11 minutes, and all was...
Yeah, 11 minutes was me with the cube. That was me alone with the cube, telling people about the cube.
Jibber-jabbing on about whatever.
Stuff. Well, I think there's some footage in there. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Like
we'll have to analyze it.
When we edit
when we edit it, when we run it through the process. What I like to call the process. As you know, there's a lot. A lot goes into the process. It wouldn't be a process if there wasn't a lot involved. It would just be a couple steps,
Yeah.
But because it is a process, that's how you know so many things are happening.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Ginger beer's already making my stomach weird.
Giggling at you.
A giggle.
This is now the beginning of the podcast, and I'm Forrest. Welcome to the show. Have all that awkwardness all before before the cut, all above the fold, right there at the entrance. Everybody will see that, and they'll know what kind of show this is.
Okay.
This is a show where people are indecisive about their non-existent drinking habits. I want to be a man so bad.
There's no such thing.
Drink beers.
Can you imagine if we didn't have this fucking cockamamie concoction of what cockhood is?
You know what's crazy? Is it genuinely...
You're just going to pass over my brilliant alliteration?
The most unhealthy thing about this is that I'm only drinking this now because I don't want to drink water. I wanted some flavor and I don't have any soda. And so I was like, hey, Ben, do you want beer? And he was like, I guess. And so now we're drinking because I didn't want to drink water.
I have 2 different kinds of compression socks on.
Like at the same time? Or
yeah,
like
they're different brands. Like one brand on one foot and one brand on the other foot.
That raises less questions than the way I thought it was.
I still think it's like an appropriate like analogy for my life as a whole.
2 different kinds of compression socks?
Yeah, like I have what I need, just the wrong way.
Both times?
Yeah.
That should be your autobiography. 2 pairs of different kinds of compression socks. Just whatever the fuck. That's great.
Well, my sweet wife got them for me, trying to help me, and she did a great job, but I lost the pairs.
Why do you need your foot to be compressed?
Well, I definitely fucking have shit going on. So...
Right on.
Well, I stand on my feet all day.
Oh, I guess.
And I've been in retail, off and on, mostly on, since we left high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been standing since we left high school, essentially.
Yeah, to sit down.
Yeah. And, like, so that does a thing to your feet.
Yeah.
Because I don't exercise properly, and so I think I got plantar fasciitis going on. I think I just need to work it out, and then it'll be better.
Yeah. Have you ever done like a foot massage machine or something like that?
Not yet, but I looked up, this is really boring. I looked up a bunch of stuff about it, and I've been working on it, and it's better than it was during the holidays.
People love the show. People tune in for this exact situation.
It's like when people fucking call me old now, I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that.
That's why
I'm
so tired.
I slept for like 2 solid days recently. And was like tired when I woke up. Like just I'm old.
It's terrible.
I'm old and I'm stressed out. Fucking speaking of all this, speaking of health and all these things, I'm getting a bunch of dental work done because I haven't been able to afford dental work for like a long goddamn time. And I went to a dentist and I was like, hey, I just like to have my teeth like properly cleaned. I can afford like a couple $100, just like clean everything and make them like shiny and white. And they looked in there for like an hour and a half, and they came back and were like, "Okay, cool. So you got just like a mess of cavities, like so many. None of them require a root canal yet. But this looks like you haven't been to the dentist in like 8 to 10 years. And when was the last time you were at a dentist? I was like 8 to 10 years ago."
I think we've talked about this before, but that was like when I got this pair of glasses, and they were like, so how long has it been since your last eye check and prescription? And I was like, well. And they were like, it's been a while. And I was like, well, I was in high school, maybe. Yeah. So it's been at least 12 years, but more probably. And they were like, oh, man.
Yeah.
And they were right, because when I put the new glasses on, it was like I could see again.
Dude,
weird shit.
I used to wear, I still do sometimes, like I would get the daily contacts, the one that you change out every day, you know what I mean? And I would just pop them in my Ojos, and that was just
it. I know, you just keep them in.
Day and night, sleep in them, shower in them, swim in them, whatever you're doing. And just like, you take them out when your eyes start to ache, and you change them out for the next pair, usually after about a month or so. I went to an eye doctor and I told them that, and they were like, that's really bad. You're probably gonna go blind if you keep doing that. And I was like, nah, come on.
No.
And they showed me like all the neovascularization around my eyes, and they're like, yeah, these are blood vessels growing into your fucking pupils, trying to get oxygen to your fucking corneas because you keep those things on there all the time. And they're eventually going to occlude your vision, and they won't go away. And so, yeah, I'm trying to save up for LASIK now, so I can just be done with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's crazy is LASIK's scary to me. It's a fascinating procedure.
All eye surgery is terrifying.
Yeah, there is a risk. I was looking it up. there is a risk that LASIK will damage your eyes. And
No
hurt
way,
your eyesight,
Forrest.
and the risk is about the same as if you sleep in contacts. So every single night, I am going through the same risk as if I go and get fucking LASIK and never have to wear contacts again. So like, just wow.
It's like it's the spin the Russian roulette once instead of every night.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm cool with that. So
Which and that all comes from like growing up relatively like poor and unwatched. Yeah. So like, and that causes a lot of problems because we have this concept of like well, if people take care of themselves, then they'll be able to do what they need to do to get things done. And it's like that's technically true.
Yeah,
right?
But taking care of yourself.
If you watch your health and you take care of yourself and you eat right and exercise and have a proper diet and watch your mental health and find the right medications if you need them or what have you, then yeah, you're gonna live life to the fullest. And it's like weird that we act like this like end result is like it's the process. And it's like,
yeah, exactly. Like fucking,
it bothers me a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it's awesome. Like if you do all that and you find a way to just do it, that's great because I think that's the way you're supposed to be able to do it. I don't think you should be punished if for some reason you're incapable.
Right. It was the thing is
or unhealthy, like for just genetic reasons. Like you're just born kind of like shit's not going the way it should.
Yeah, it costs
human
money
bodies are
to
fallible.
Eat right. It costs money to eat right. You need money to have the time to exercise rather than going to work all the damn time. Like having dental care and vision care and everything, those are expensive things. They're not fucking like. And what sucks, and you're right, genetics is a huge part of it as well. That can disproportionately affect people for various reasons. But like, what really blows about all of this is fucking insurance, dude.
Who's that?
I was looking up insurance things, and like there was one that was like they have a dental plan, and it's $20 a month, and it will take like $5 off of a root canal, and it's like, if I get a root canal every fucking month, then I guess it was like it will take like $20 something off of the root canal, and it cost me $25 or something like that, or $25 and it cost me $20. I don't know.
But how much is a root canal?
It's hundreds of dollars, and it saves you like $5 to $10, assuming you got a root canal every month. Otherwise, you're just wasting money. And like
it's like one of those things where you get discounts if you pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
And it's not really insurance, but it's like a service type thing where you get like it's kind of almost like usually I think you set it up with the providers.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If you can afford to pay out of pocket, those are good discounts usually.
Yeah.
Because once you can afford to pay for things out of pocket, small discounts can add up because you're doing more.
Yeah.
Like money is so weird and the economy is so weird and the way things get done is so weird and like the disconnect between everybody and how everything works is so weird to me because like it's like there are a lot of things that are true and it doesn't make them right. Like when it comes to the economy, if that makes sense. And I think insurance is one of those things. Like it makes sense that it like because healthcare is so expensive, it makes sense for insurance to be in there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense for healthcare to be so expensive.
Yeah. Well, the issue is that
it's really healthcare should be an ultra. This whole podcast is over.
Slapping things in here.
Healthcare should be an altruistic endeavor, right?
Right.
Like,
well, the problem is that like they're relying on the idea that you do have insurance,
and that doesn't mean we don't pay doctors.
Right. Right. I'm just saying, like, the healthcare system is relying on the idea that you do have insurance. And because they can, like, the insurance company is a big corporation, it gets a bunch of money, so the healthcare insurance system jacks up the prices on everything. And they're like, oh, yeah, this $10 fucking pill actually costs $5,000. So that way, when they give that bill to the insurance company can say, we're not paying that, we'll give you $3,000. And the health provider's going to be like, you got us, fine, I guess. And so they jack up these prices so that these two corporations, these two big industries can screw each other. And then if you don't have insurance, you can't screw them back. So it's just like, all right, you pay the $5,000 then. And it's like, but seriously, I remember going to the fucking hospital one time, like, and getting antacid. Amber she was puking up blood, and we went and got antacids because her GERD was acting up and tearing up her fucking esophagus. And so we went to the urgent care. They gave us fucking antacids, like a powerful one, but it was just to stop it. And that charge is like, it was fucking $10,000 for goddamn antacid. And there's a fee because you waited in the waiting room. Like, fuck off. There's a story going around not too long ago about a girl who went to the ER and never got seen. She sat in the waiting room for a while and then decided fuck it and left after an hour. And they billed her like $3,000 for taking up a seat in the waiting room for a minute. Why? You didn't do anything. That
is pretty fucked up.
It just sucks because there have been, I said that she was puking blood because of her acid. There have been several times where either one of us have been puking blood and we were like, I guess I'll wait and see if it goes away in a couple of days. I don't have GERD. I was at a viral infection. I was puking like crazy and tore my esophagus open, was vomiting blood, and was just like, I'll see if it stops on its own because I can't afford to go to the hospital.
I think I brought it up on this show. There was that one time that's the scariest thing so far medically that's happened to me as I've aged, which is that time I was on the floor.
Yeah, your back.
Yeah, my back. We came home. We had gone out to a hotel and had a great weekend together. Mm. And then we came home and my back was really hurting me on the van ride home. I was like, whatever. Get out, take our stuff in. On the front porch, my leg, this leg, just goes, and I'm just and I just get, tight back here.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'm like, that hurts. What the fuck? And then all of a sudden I was like, and then I just fell over and I couldn't move. And Allie's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And I'm just like, fuck, shit, fuck.
Yeah.
And I couldn't talk to her and I just kept telling her to chill fuck out. But I'm screaming it like a madman.
Right.
And she's like, I'm calling an ambulance. And I'm like, no, no. But the reality is in any normal situation, and I apologize because I know last time I did that, I watched the episode and that fucking sucks for a few seconds when I'm yelling.
Well, we can move this. But...
Nah, fuck them. Just kidding. But I didn't do. I was in so much pain, and I was scared. Mm-hmm. I was scared. I'm not usually I'm afraid of a lot of things, but it's external stress. I'm not I'm not really afraid in the moment.
Yeah.
So it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And but at the same time I still had the consciousness to be I can't afford a ride in the wee woo wagon.
Right.
I can't afford to go to the hospital. Let me sit down until it goes away.
Yep.
And then what happened is I crawled around for 5 minutes screaming and saying I couldn't do anything and then telling everybody to chill out. Even though I was the one screaming in pain because they would be like, I'm going to call it in. And I'm like, no, it's okay. And then I spent 16 hours on the floor.
Yeah.
Instead of getting help. And now all I can do really is I manage the pain and I try to exercise and stretch it as much as possible so that doesn't happen again. And sometimes it flares up and I live on fucking pin cushions.
Yeah.
Anytime I feel certain pains in my back because I can't afford to not be able to do things for 16 hours.
Yep.
But I also can't afford to fix it.
Yep.
But there's that disconnect where it's you need to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
There's also the thing where it's if you need to take better care of yourself so that these things don't happen. Very true. Also, I've only known that for maybe 5 years. I've only really known that I need to take care of myself for maybe 5 years.
Yep.
Some people learned earlier and that's been beneficial to them and and people don't realize that, or they lived in environments where they were taken care of better just because somebody was just looking out a little bit better. It's insane. Mm-hmm. And then insurance. That's just all this shit that doesn't even have anything to do with insurance.
Yeah, that's what fucking kills me. And this I know we've said this before, but if you are rich, if you have insurance, if you're wealthy, if you get a stomach ache, you go to the doctor, pill, knock it out, you're good. If you don't, you have that same stomach ache, you deal with it, you continue going to work, and then it's worse the next day, and you deal with it, you continue going to work. And then after 10 days, 20 days, a month, however long of just dealing with it, finally your appendix ruptures, and now you have a bigger bill and a bigger problem than somebody who could have just gone and taken a very easy preventative, care right at the beginning. And that's the problem, is that for everybody who fucking talks about who's going to pay for healthcare for everybody, how much is that going to cost, not having it costs way worse.
Yeah, because eventually we do pay for it because we do have a little bit of a social safety net.
Yeah.
And so we do actually end up, I think eventually once it gets so bad, you can get some assistance, and some of that is paid with taxpayer money, if I'm not mistaken. Not all of it. But, like, you know, there's things like Social Security, disability, and things like that. And like, so we pay for this shit. And if you think you're not paying for fucking... It's subsidizing like fucking fire trucks and ambulances and stuff. If you like taxes, like city level taxes, like if you don't know how they work, I think most people don't. Well, like it's funny.
It's rough, dude. It's real rough. Well, like
insurance.
What kills me is that you pay into this, right? You have your premiums that you have. Then you also have your copay amount that you're supposed to pay whenever you go and see the thing. Then there's the actual what the insurance covers, which is only like X% of certain procedures. So if you go get an x-ray, they're going to cover 20, 30% of it. So you're still paying most of it, plus you're paying the copay. That doesn't cover, change the out-of-pocket maximum. There's a certain point where you don't pay anymore, but that's so extreme and far away, and most of the things that you pay don't go into that. And then there's the whole idea of the network, where it's, number one, it's impossible to fucking figure out what's in or out of network. It's insane. And if you have a heart attack and they drive you to the wrong hospital because you apparently in your heart attack were supposed to tell them, oh no, please, take me 30 minutes in the other direction for the other doctor who's in it. I found the out of network on my phone while I was heart attacking. Like, what fucking... So then you have to pay for everything, and it doesn't go towards your out of pocket maximum because it wasn't the approved whatever. And like, it's so convoluted and stupid and shitty. And plus with the fucking Affordable Care Act, which I am all for fucking universal medicine, but holy shit, this idea that you can only sign up in a certain window. So if you get sick after open enrollment, fuck you. Like, if you get a big pay bonus and you can finally afford it, but it's not during open enrollment, try not to get sick until open enrollment, I guess.
It's really weird, too, because it's like, why does it need to be like that in the first place?
It's supposed to be. And this is what's so frustrating. It's
because
that
the way they bill it or something?
But it's that way to protect the insurance companies so that you don't get sick and immediately just get insurance now and then have it taken care of and then cancel your insurance when you're better. It's
to make sure you have it and hold on to it until you fucking get sick.
Exactly, to protect the insurance company. Fuck the insurance company. Do you know that fucking United
But
Healthcare...
here's what I'm going to say is that, like, that's what I would expect insurance companies to do in this system. That's what the fucking problem is.
Because why wouldn't they protect themselves? They're a business. That's why we need to do away with that kind of business.
Yeah, that's why the healthcare system doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
At the very least, maybe if we had a single-payer healthcare system where everybody's taxes paid for universal healthcare for everybody, and then also have a private insurance company, too... that does some other thing that makes it worth their while, and it's only for very rich people. Who knows? But, like, healthcare as a whole should not be something that you have to, like, you should never be fucking too poor to live. That makes no goddamn sense. The camera's off, and I'm seeing that now, and it's because we started late.
It's about time for an ad break.
Oh, I forgot there was ad breaks now.
It's about time for another ad break. You're gonna take a break and watch an ad because I fucking said so.
That's a very popular song. Who wants to hear of it 50 times more?
3 Butterfingers. Put the ad in there. Put the ad in my...
I think that's it. I think it's going again.
Put the ad in my Butterfinger.
Ugh.
It's a candy bar.
Yeah.
Put the ad in there and then... I will ingest the ad.
That's what they're gonna do. Consume the advertisement.
How do you all feel about the word consumers?
Is that camera crooked again?
I don't like it. Every time you fucking touch anything,
it's all.
Whoa!
Did you see that?
It shocked him. I couldn't see it, Forrest. You fuck.
There we go. Okay.
Oh no! Did I swear a bunch when we first started?
Probably. Who cares? It's fine. It's fine. The point is, you should never be too poor to live. And the way that healthcare in this country is set up is fucking madness. And that's why one of the many reasons why I want to leave. Did you know this, by the way? when you leave the country, if you move out of America, no matter how long you live abroad, no matter like where you move to, you still owe taxes in the United States as long as you're an American citizen. America is there are only 2 countries in the world. I don't know what the other one is, but only 2 countries in the world, one of which is America, they base their taxes on citizenship instead of on residency. So if you are an American citizen and you move to Australia or wherever the fuck you want to move to, America still wants you to pay taxes, and if you don't, they will rack up these big debts on you. They'll pay all sorts of fines on you. Like eventually, they'll bar you from entering the country again.
Like pay taxes on your income in another country?
Yes. You have to pay, if you live and work in Uganda, you have to pay income tax to America if you're an American citizen. Even if you earn that money elsewhere, you have to pay income tax on it here. Unless you're no longer an American citizen. And it costs...
You would think that like other countries would be like, no.
Yeah, it costs over $2,000 to renounce your citizenship. You have to pay over $2,000 to break up with America. And then if you make a certain amount a year, which it sounds high, but it's like total assets or something like that. It's like $200,000. It's not a lot when you come to think about it. You have an expatriation tax where they take almost 25% of everything you own. The total cash value of all of your assets, including your house and everything, you pay, it's like 23% of it in a tax to America in order to stop being a citizen. So if before you're allowed to leave this country for good, to break up with America, they take a huge chunk of whatever you have before you're allowed to, just to last to fuck you one more time.
It's so weird how nations own their people.
I know all this stuff off the top of my head right now because all day I've been freaking out about it because we were looking, like I said, I wanted to get fucking dental and vision care. And we were looking this shit up, and then I was like, fuck this country. I want to leave this fucking god-awful place, go work somewhere else. Anywhere there's Wi-Fi, I'll have a job. I can continue making videos. And we were looking up how to
What'd you call them just now?
Huh?
Videos?
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 We were looking at places to move, and we were like, wait a minute, isn't there a fucking expatriation thing? And we sure the fuck enough, yeah, costs a lot of money. So I guess I'm going to save up for that, but not too much, so that the percentage tax is low.
I can't reach my infinity cube.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, man, it's just when you're talking about, like, taxes, it helps me.
Keep you calm.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy, yo.
So what if you move to a country that just says they don't give a shit and they won't extradite you for tax evasion?
It doesn't matter because America's watching.
Yeah, I know they're watching, but they're not. It's fucked up to me because I think personally, if you're willing to be like open about who you are, I think you should be allowed to travel like as freely as possible around the planet. Now, I know that that's obviously very complicated.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very much of an oversimplification. Sure,
but I think in the next 100 years, it will become very simple.
Yeah.
Like in the way, like, it's like if I want to go from New York to California anytime, it's not that big of a deal. It is kind of, but it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
I think eventually it's going to be like, well, it's like, hey, I'm going. It's already like you can hop on a plane and go to Europe. Right? Like it's complicated, but it's not impossible. So just imagine that, but like sped up because there's too many fucking people.
Yeah.
And they can't deal with this shit all the time. They need people to be able to move around faster so they can get more shit done.
Yeah.
That's why things are the way they are now.
Well, it's more movement, more commerce, more money.
More shit.
It's fine.
It's like, more shit. As long as there's more shit happening, the elite reptilian overlords will allow it to happen.
Yeah, man.
They're not really lizards, but like like people, the machine is a machine. There is a coldness to it. And like global elitism or whatever the fucking conspiracy theorists want to call it is actually just the way humans are right now.
Unfeeling bureaucracy.
It's just people.
Of the
yeah.
nations.
It's just the expression of everything that we've had before.
Yeah.
In the now times. Like it's like. I never understood why globalism was a bad thing.
Me neither.
And now I really don't understand what the problem is because I'm like, there are problems because it's a big world, but like we have all benefited from it in so many ways. Like us specifically, mostly the people bitching. Yeah. The people who aren't benefiting aren't really bitching either because we can't hear them because nobody will
Listen.
their plight and honestly broadcast it.
Did you see there's this map that was made? It was it's obviously it's an opinion piece, but like it was how much that'll show up great on there. It's how
people
much
love the show.
the world cares, or specifically how much the media cares about a humanitarian crisis by like geographic region, and it shows like, you know, the global north, the United States, Canada, Europe, and like some of Eastern Europe and maybe Australia, and it's like, this is a major thing we need to talk about forever. And then there's like Mexico, some of South America, some of Asia, and it's like, we're not trying to be depressed today, all right? We'll mention it, but like whatever. And then it's just like most of Africa and the rest of South America, and everybody's like, nobody gives half a shit. We're not even going to discuss it. Nobody cares. They need to figure it out on their own. And it's like, dude, it's so glaringly obvious when you look at it just how blatantly prejudiced everything is. You know what I mean? Just how blatantly prejudiced it is. And like it sucks to live in a world where half the people are, I would say, by like 40% of the people don't even know that's a problem. The other 40% of the problem are people understand it but don't give a shit. And then there's 20% of the people that are like, hey, maybe all people are people and should be treated like people. How about that? And then all the other 80% are like, fuck off.
I really am. I know it's stupid. I really am trying to change my my inner speech,
your monologue,
inner monologue interpretation of life in general, to just start like putting person in front of everything instead of anything else. Like person is the original descriptor, and then I've put, because I think it'll change me. So I'm doing it. Like, does that make sense? Because I know I've got like biases for sure. Yeah. So like I'm trying to fix it, and I think one thing that's helped with it is actually doing that. And that's when that also made it kind of click in my own mind, where I realized, because I've always been like fine on board with it, but I never really completely understood like person of color and things like that, like why people were starting to say things that way instead of the other. Because I was like, and like even a lot of people of color will say it because they're older like me, and they'll be like, well, what's the problem with like how I describe, like if I describe myself this way or that way, and it's like, yeah, you probably don't have a problem with it necessarily, but like that's just because you're old. Yeah. Like this is actually going to do something. If we change the way we talk, it's actually going to do something. Exactly. Probably not for us immediately, but later. Yeah. And that's cool. Well, so like that really changes some things. Like and it doesn't mean it's all like completely necessary 100% of the time, or we're going to like nail down the perfect terminology for everything in the next fucking 2 years. No, because by the time we do nail down an adequate terminology, we'll need new words. We'll need new ones eventually because those ones will also be kind of dated. And like that's the problem with it, is that like, you know, there's a reason why, you know, when you talk about a disabled person, someone in a wheelchair, there's a reason. There was a certain time where you could just call somebody a cripple. Now that's kind of harsh. You know what I mean? You wouldn't do that anymore. Yeah. And so like, that's a progression of the terminology because the accepted terminology became something shitty. It's and because we started to fucking empathize more. Yeah. And that's what this whole thing is going to lead up to. And I don't know if you can stop it. So people probably need to just get with the program, because like we are going to enter a phase where there's more empathy, I hope. Yeah. Yeah. Well, even that, when I was just saying this, I said a person in a wheelchair or a handicapped person. That's important because when you use a word like cripple, you're putting just the what do you say, the derogatory. You're putting the problem, so to speak, as the entire descriptor for this human being. And so, like, that's when you talk about, you know, all the other stuff you were just saying. Like, when you say a person with a disability, or a blind person, or a handicap, or if you put anything else, a person of color, whatever else, you're no longer using this identifier as a description of the whole human being. Yeah. It's a person who also has these things going on. This is a person without health insurance. Exactly. And that's why representation is so important. That's why people get so fucking mad. It took me a while, and I'm going to say this is why it's important that people continue to push conversations and they continue to talk to each other, because it took me a while to fully understand, not completely, but to fully understand representation and the arguments about it. Yeah. Like, Like, because I was always like, well, like, why do you need to, like, there's certain things, like, changing characters in media and stuff, where it's like, well, why do you need to change it? They should just make original characters. And it's like, well, it depends on the character, right?
Yeah.
Honestly. That's what it comes down to. Because, like, and so now I just analyze the shit out of everything. Like, fun one, James Bond. I don't know why everybody has a problem with fucking Idris Elba fucking potentially being James Bond. Shit was ridiculous. They were like, not him. And I was like, what? Why?
Right.
Like, he's perfect for the role. But then, like, I was like, well, when they started talking about a female James Bond, I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, maybe different name. Maybe
Jasmine Bond.
It's like, yeah, like. But again, my line of reasoning is like, still just like, we'll make it make sense and it's fine.
Yeah,
as long as it makes sense.
But that's the thing, is that
fine.
like this is a character who has changed over the years. There's even this.
It's already been a thing. Yeah, like it's always
just
been.
It's a code name.
It's 100 million years old almost.
Yeah, and so like, and it's the same thing as like when we have superheroes that like in Marvel or especially in DC comics where it's like, oh, the new Superman is bi or whatever like that, and like, no, like,
the further you go into fiction, the more ridiculous any argument against changing a character gets.
Yes, and it's like this person. This is in a thing where it's supposed to have multiple universes, multiple personalities. There's one where Superman's a Nazi. There's one where Superman is this, that, and the other. Why not have one where he's fucking gay?
Fiction.
Like, is that fine?
There's this. Oh fuck! What was I gonna say? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that like this also. The reason why I've been on my phone is because I'm gonna put it up on the screen for the people of the YouTubes to look at as well. I saw this at Walmart. This is the new box for Candyland, the game. And you can see they've got diversity.
I saw it.
There's a black woman in there. There's an Asian woman in there that looks like maybe Mexican, maybe East Indian person in there. There's a kid in a wheelchair in there. There's all these. King's still white though. King Candy's still white though. So what the fuck's that all about, right? But anyway, but like that's why representation is so important, because you're putting these people in front of you and showing that they fucking exist. And that's how mad you get when you're pushing the heterosexual white agenda when you watch every movie ever.
Right? Like nerds will freak the fuck out when they talk about like there's this push that I think everything is ridiculous, right? Because there's this push in the Zelda community. There's a bunch of people. Fuck you. There's a bunch of people that are like, it feels like I'm like too close today. There's a bunch of people that make the argument that they should like make Link a female, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then there's the other half of the fan base that is just like, because here's the thing: half the fan base at this point in Zelda, I think, is probably fucking female.
Yeah.
Like they already probably were,
mm-hmm.
but now like the way games are played, like everybody pretty much can enjoy games if they want to.
Yeah.
So like that divide is way less strong.
Yeah.
So it's stupid.
Well, in the
first place. But then like they're like, no, Link is a guy, and I'm like, Link is interesting because Link has the Master Chief thing, right? Where it's literally it's old school game character mm-hmm. 101. He's just a stand-in for you.
Yeah.
That's it. So to me, I was always like, well, from here on out, I wouldn't give a shit if they just let you pick a male or a female Link.
Mm-hmm.
Or a fucking just don't even identify.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say shit anyway.
Non-binary Link.
Yeah, who gives a shit? I don't care about it. Pokemon games, they could do that shit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Now,
the voice is very androgynous. The design is very androgynous.
The Master Chief, they should have never shown his eyes.
Yeah.
Because the Master Chief was never supposed to have a race.
Right.
That's what the developers said.
Yeah.
The people who made the game said that they didn't want him. They said in documentaries, I'm pretty sure, like that they didn't want him to be like a white guy or a black guy or an Asian guy.
Yeah,
like,
it was supposed to be anybody.
Yeah, because that was part of the thing.
The only descriptor that they gave him, and I think it was in one of the books, they said he was like unbelievably handsome, and that was all they said, or something like that.
Yeah, which is a lie.
Yeah,
because the Master Chief is canonically an ugly fuck.
He's grizzled.
Yeah, he's been blown up, but so there's like So I mean, the only description sometimes they did say like he was super pale because he never got sunlight because he was in a fucking suit.
Right.
But you and I think you can say that because of potentially who his parents are, that later they kind of retconned it, so he may have been a white dude. But the original developer's intent was for him to have no identifying thing at all. He was basically just almost a robot.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep it. They used Cyborg because they wanted him to still have a connection to humanity because that was part of the character. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, he wasn't a person.
It was an interestingly written character, and then 343 came in and shit it.
What's funny is they made this Halo series on TV, right? And I think it'll be whatever. It'll be fine. It might be kind of fun to watch. They're really hyping Halo right now because Infinite did well, so they're trying, and they've been working on this TV show. It might be good, whatever. Master Chief's probably going to be a white dude, and that pisses me off. Right. I don't care that he ended up being a white dude in the games that much, whatever. In a TV show, I think he should be anything else.
Anything else?
Anything else, because I don't give a shit.
I don't care so hard.
That's
why I care.
That's why. It is, but it really comes down to that. It's because I know there are people... And, like, they can... I love that series, right? Yeah. You know me. I love it.
Yeah.
There are people who care so much about this that if Master Chief was a fucking Asian dude or a Native American dude or a black dude or literally anything, anything that's not just a regular, like, white guy... They're going to lose their minds.
Right.
And I don't give a shit so much that I want it to happen.
That's what I'm saying. My favorite thing in the world, there's this dude on TikTok.
At his core, and they've even, I'm cutting you off one more time and I'll stop, but at his core, and I really believe this, and I think they even really showcased this in the last game. The Master Chief's character is supposed to be like, what is a good soldier? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And not in the sense of like, oh, they're always going to win the war. It's like, what are the things that you would hope like would be in a good soldier? It's like they don't give up. Mm-hmm. They also still care about people. Mm-hmm. They find a way, things like all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So, and I call it bullshit, but there's something to it because it keeps people alive sometimes. And that's the story. And any fucking race of human can portray that.
Yeah.
So, like, I hate fucking nerds.
My favorite thing.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm just kidding, guys.
My favorite thing is there's a guy on TikTok named Josh Helfgott.
I just had to get all that out.
You're fine. I could tell it was pent up in you for a minute. I like that. There's this dude on TikTok named Josh Helfgott, and he's just this gay dude from New York, and his whole channel is gay news. And he talks about shit that's going on where gay LGBT people are getting more representation. And so he talked about, here's this new character from this new Marvel movie coming out, and she's wearing a gay pride pin, and her shirt says love is love, and they're even selling these little shirts for kids to wear. Isn't that awesome? Here's this Ford F-150 commercial where they made the thing rainbow for Pride Month. Here's the new
in a truck.
Here's the new Android fucking emojis, and they have a pregnant man in there. Isn't that crazy cool? And like all these, and he's just showing this stuff, and I love his videos so much because every single one of them is the comment section is packed full of people. I guess I'll never drive a Ford. I'm gonna sell my Ford and buy a fucking a Chevy now because they're a real. I guess I'm switching to Apple now since Android's doing this gay shit and all the fucking. It is.
Man, Apple has never had a gay CEO.
It's so fucking funny every single time.
Wait a minute.
Is it the CEO? Is that what it is?
I think he might be. I can't remember.
I have no idea.
I can't remember because at this point in my life, I really don't care about that shit that much. If somebody's gay, I'm just like, okay. Yeah, that's like saying I like to eat toast.
Yes, I also
but
do.
But only the wheat kind.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's what kills me is how personally people take homosexuality when they hear about it.
It's just because they're still like with that idea in particular, they're still children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many times fucking if somebody told you they were gay, how often would you wonder if they want to fuck you? For me, it would be 0% of the time. The same way as if I met I
might be a little curious.
Any straight woman. If I got a new job and one of my coworkers was a woman, I wouldn't be like, oh, I hope she doesn't want to fuck me. I just be like, that door is shut. I am married. I'm not going to. We're fine.
Well, that's weird.
Like,
Somebody out there definitely like when they meet somebody like because people want to fuck them so much, Forrest. That every time they meet somebody, they're just like, oh god.
But that's what I'm saying. If
I hope she doesn't want to fuck me because I'm really like I'm a good person.
I'm not gonna. Yeah,
like,
I fucking. But like anytime
I don't cheat on my wife.
Every gay
all my
person I know
coworkers try to fuck me.
It just keeps happening. Every gay person I know has a story about that where they were told somebody they're gay and they're like, "Oh, you don't want to fuck me, do you?" I'm like, "Fucking like, why is that? Why? Why is that your primary concern? Why is that a concern?"
Okay, so I don't think it should be your primary concern, and I think the way you say it is very important. I do think that it is a natural curiosity. If you find out that somebody you've known for a long time fucks people like you might be like, do you ever want to fuck me?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then it's either like, it really depends on how you ask it, right? Because
like, what you can say,
yeah, because if you're like, so you want to fuck me, huh? Fuck me?
All right.
Let's do it.
Been waiting for you to ask.
Finally.
Please.
I like how that started off like aggressive and slowly turned into like, I need it. The fuck is this podcast?
People love the show. But that's why representation's so important, man. Because it shows the people that these people exist. And as every single time...
it's turning them gay.
Every single time you see a fucking gay person or a person of color or whatever, a trans person or whatever in any media, it's just reminding you these people exist. And people are like, oh, they're shoving them in my face. Have you been having fucking cis-het white men shoved in your face? Yeah, kinda, huh? So, like, maybe we should switch it up, right? Maybe that's the better plan. Like,
I don't even care. It kind of comes back to the whole argument of, like, there's things that aren't for you, and if they're not for you, then they're not for you.
Don't watch it, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
there's a reason why I don't watch Teen Mom. I'm not interested, so I don't watch it. I'm not fucking mad that it's on the TV. Like, I'm not over here freaking out. Like,
sorry, ladies, Forrest isn't interested in Teen Mom.
I haven't watched Ridiculousness since that one time I was in the... I don't know why I'm going for MTV shows. Since that one time I was in the hospital for like a week, and MTV was the only channel that would come on, and they had a Ridiculousness marathon, and I watched nothing but Rob Dyrdek goof about on stage like an asshole for fucking like 6 days.
The Ridiculousness marathon was every weekday. Yeah, like for like the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday or some shit.
I wanted to die
3 days. He had a
from
3
the
day,
pain
6 hour block
and from the TV.
Some shit.
It's so stupid.
Rob
it was like
Dyrdek.
Jackass and AMV got together and made a show together that wasn't as good as either of those original shows.
I don't know. He was kind of adorable.
Oh man,
he gets up there and he's all like, and that was funny.
Have you seen the new Jackass movie, Jackass Forever?
Nope.
Rob Dyrdek or whatever, he makes a guest appearance in it. He shows up in it and he's just as awkward as ever. It's just like, why are you here, dude? It's just, you're here because you had a show. Like, I don't get it. No,
it seems nice.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
What's fucked up is I'm like so awkward in person, and I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like I like in as long as I could pretend to be a completely insane person, I'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like if I could just play a character, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But actually functioning in fucking society, no, that's a nightmare. I would rather pretend to be a guy who's struggling to function in society.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I would portray it with just as much passion as I'm, like, living my own life right now. But it wouldn't be as stressful. The human existence is fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not even complaining. I'm just in awe of it. The whole thing.
It's weird to be alive, man.
It is.
No.
I'm glad that we're alive. I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad that I met you.
I'm glad I met you too, man.
And a couple other people, but like I'm glad that we had time to meet. Mm-hmm. And whatever this fucking thing is, I'm really glad that we're friends and we became friends.
Yeah.
And Dylan's here.
We could, looking back at how we met though, we couldn't not be friends. We were we were both the weirdest fucking kids, rejected by everyone, and then we had the same remedial math class together. And like we were bound to become buddies. We both had long hair.
Dude, she separated us on the first day.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah, because first, I don't know, we would go to her desk. Instead of doing our work, we would go to her desk and convince her to let us sit next to each other.
So that we could not do our work.
And it kept working.
I didn't turn in a single
People
assignment.
listen. I don't know what it is.
I didn't turn in
Yeah,
one assignment.
but like we used to just be able to go places and Forrest could talk, and then I would just say, yeah. And people would be like, oh, okay.
Because nobody wanted to put up with us.
All right, fine. It just used to work so well.
Yeah.
I bet it still would. We just haven't tried in a while.
Yeah.
We should just go to a random, like, official place.
Walk with purpose. Act like we know what we're doing and we're supposed to be there.
Just wear suits again.
Carry a ladder.
You can get in anywhere with a ladder and a bucket of paint.
Yeah, or a fucking high visibility jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't like to think about it. It's scary. Every time I see construction workers, I'm just like, which one?
How many of you are just fucking there, just hanging out? Yeah.
Y'all know each other? Yeah?
Who's that guy right now?
Is he new? Are any of you new today? Just showed up today? Maybe late? Maybe disheveled? Covered in some blood?
Oh.
I'm a construction guy.
I construct. That's what I do.
The worst thing about today's episode is that I threw my fucking infinity cube.
And you just haven't even bothered to reach over there to get it.
No, I tried to reach it earlier while you were talking about fucking God knows what. Taxes.
Probably taxes. Yeah.
Healthcare taxes. I think it's fucked up that they keep, like, I know that, like, they wanted to get rid of Obamacare really bad, but they, like, still keep charging people for not having insurance.
Seriously. Hey, if you can't afford to fucking pay us, we're gonna make you pay us. It's like the fucking bank, dude. Like, hey, you don't have enough money, so we charged you an extra fee. But this guy had a lot of money, so we gave him some of the money that we took from you. Fuck this guy. You have lots of money. Have more. We've been recording for a while. I'm gonna wrap it here, and we come back to it next week. Does that sound good to you? You got anything else you wanted to squeeze out of you before we wrapped up the weakening? I don't think so.
No, it's been a fun time. I'm glad I came over and talked to you. I was thinking about not doing this one tonight.
Yeah, we'll do it later.
We were talking about rescheduling, and I just decided not to. And we decided not to, and I think it was a good idea.
It just happened, man. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let us know in the comments below if you have ever put
gotta start writing these before we start recording.
I had one that I wanted to ask that I completely forgot about. Let us know how you learned to drive, and let us know. Let us know how you learned to drive in the comments below. Tell us who taught you. Have fun with that one. Discuss it.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Fuck Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. Tell us if you have insurance.
Tell us in the comments if you have insurance. And
still do the first thing he said, because now I want to know.
Yeah. Tell us if you knew how you learned how to drive, if you have health insurance, and then go ahead and just type in all caps, "fuck Putin" in the comments for us as well. Do that, and every one of those that we see, we may or may not drop a like on it.
Yeah, I randomly like stuff.
Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have an awesome rest of your week. We'll see you next time.
We appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah.
Smash that like and subscribe.
Smash the
Nope,
bell
I
and
said
subscribe to.
Well, you hit the bell if you fuck.
See the camera fucking.
You hit the bell if you want the notifications, but if you don't want to be notified, don't hit the bell.
Does it actually work? Because it doesn't work on like most other things.
It works in the sense that you need to go in and look for your notifications. Like you need to actively go in. Sometimes it'll work, but you need to go into YouTube and click the little notification and see who's uploaded.
I see.
really, it's kind of like TV. If you want to support something, you kind of need to actively participate a little bit. Yeah. You all have a wonderful time.
Goodbye.